The boardroom felt like a courtroom. I sat across from my father, Marcus Chun, CEO of Chin Industries for 30 years. Behind him, the floor-to-ceiling windows framed the city skyline his company helped build. I prepared for this meeting for weeks, rehearsing my presentation about modernizing our operations, expanding into digital markets, preparing to take over as CEO. I was 28, had an MBA from Stanford, and had worked in every department of our family business for 6 years. I knew this company inside and out. Dad looked at my proposal for exactly 12 seconds before pushing it back across the mahogany table. "Daniel, you're too inexperienced, BCO," he said, his voice flat and final. "What?" The word came out smaller than I intended. "You heard me. You're not ready. Maybe in another 10 years, after you've proven yourself in a junior management position." "Junior management?" "Dad, I've been working here for 6 years. I know this business. You know spreadsheets and theories from business school. You don't know real leadership." His eyes were cold, dismissive. "This conversation is over." I walked out of that boardroom, feeling like I'd been punched in the stomach. 6 years. 6 years of arriving early, staying late, learning every aspect of the business. 6 years of missing birthdays, relationships, and weekends because I was proving myself to him. For nothing. My sister Emily found me in the parking garage, leaning against my car. "I heard what happened," she said quietly. "I'm sorry, Danny." He didn't even read my proposal. Dad's stubborn. He built that company from nothing. He thinks no one else can run it. I'm his son. I've dedicated my entire adult life to Chin Industries. Emily touched my shoulder. "Maybe it's time to think about doing something else. Something that's yours." I looked up at the building that bore our family name. 23 floors of steel and glass, representing decades of my father's work and my wasted years. Something shifted inside me at that moment, a spark of anger, determination, and clarity. "You're right," I said. "It's time to build something of my own." That night, I sat in my apartment with my laptop, my business school notebooks, and a fire burning in my chest. If my father thought I was too inexperienced to run his company, I'd show him exactly what I was capable of building on my own. I had savings. $75,000 I'd carefully accumulated over 6 years of working. Not much by industry standards, but enough to start. I opened a document and began outlining my business plan. Chun Industries specialized in commercial real estate development. They were good at it, but slow, traditional, resistant to change. That was their weakness. I'd spent 6 years watching them miss opportunities because Dad refused to adapt. Digital property management, sustainable building practices, flexible co-working spaces. The market was changing and Chin Industries wasn't keeping up. I would start a company that did everything Chin Industries did, but better, faster, and smarter. A company built for the future, not stuck in the past. By 3 a.m, I had a complete business plan, a company name, and a registered LLC. Chun Innovations. My father built Chin Industries. I would build its replacement. My first client came 2 weeks later. Sarah Martinez owned 3 small commercial properties downtown and was frustrated with her current property management company. I met her at a coffee shop, wearing my best suit and carrying a portfolio I designed myself. "Mr. Chun, I'll be honest," she said, stirring her coffee. "I only agreed to this meeting because your email was professional and you're cheaper than my current company." "I appreciate your honesty, Ms. Martinez. Let me show you what makes Chun Innovations different." I walked her through my digital management system, my maintenance response protocols, and my tenant satisfaction guarantees. She asked tough questions. I had good answers. "You're young," she said finally. "How do I know you won't disappear in 6 months?" "Because I'm building something permanent. I'm not doing this as a side project or a hobby. This is my life's work, and I'm treating every client like they're my only client." She studied me for a long moment. Then she smiled. "All right, Mr. Chun. Let's try a 3-month contract and see how it goes." I shook her hand, trying not to show how much my hands were trembling. Family dinner that Sunday was torture. My mother had insisted I come, despite everything. My father sat at the head of the table, cutting his steak with precise movements. Emily kept glancing at me nervously. My younger brother Kevin, still in college, was oblivious to the tension. So, Daniel, my father said without looking up, Emily mentioned you've left Chin Industries. I resigned last week, yes. To do what? Work for a competitor? To start my own company. Kevin's fork clattered against his plate. My mother's hand flew to her chest. My father finally looked at me, his expression somewhere between amusement and contempt. Your own company. In real estate development. Property management. To start. Eventually development, yes. He laughed. Actually laughed. Daniel, do you have any idea how naive that sounds? This industry requires capital, connections, and credibility. You have none of those things. I have skills, determination, and a better understanding of modern business practices than most companies in this city. You have student loans and an apartment in a mediocre neighborhood. Don't embarrass yourself. Emily spoke up. Dad, that's harsh. It's realistic. Daniel will waste a year playing entrepreneur, fail, and come back begging for his job. I've seen it 100 times. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I worked on client proposals until sunrise. My father's words echoed in my head, but instead of crushing me, they fueled something fierce and focused. My phone buzzed at 7 a.m. An email from an address I didn't recognize. The subject line read, "For the ambitious underdog." I opened it cautiously. Mr. Chun, I've been following your new venture with interest. You don't know me, but I know your situation. Your father is wrong about you. I'd like to help. Check your company account. Consider it an investment in potential. I switched to my business banking app. My mouth went dry. Someone had deposited $50,000 into Chun Innovations account. I replied immediately. Who is this? Why would you invest in a 2-week-old company? The response came within minutes. Someone who once faced a similar situation. Use the money wisely. Expect nothing in return except that you build something worth building. More guidance will come when you need it. I stared at the screen, my heart pounding. $50,000. From a stranger who somehow knew my story. It felt like a gift and a test simultaneously. I used $10,000 from my mysterious benefactor to upgrade my technology and marketing. I built a professional website, invested in property management software, and hired a part-time assistant named Rachel to help with administrative work. Then I made a list of Chin Industries' current clients. My father had 73 active contracts, ranging from small retail spaces to major commercial complexes. I knew these clients. I'd worked with many of them during my time at the company. I knew their complaints, their frustrations, and what they wished Chin Industries would do better. I started reaching out, carefully, not to steal clients directly, but to introduce Chin Innovations as an alternative. I sent professional emails highlighting our modern approach, our responsive service, and our competitive pricing. Most ignored me. 3 replied with polite rejections, citing their long relationship with my father. 1, however, was different. Thomas Webb owned the Riverside Shopping Center, a mid-sized retail complex that had been with Chin Industries for 15 years. He agreed to meet me for lunch. Your father's going to hate this, he said, grinning. Probably. Good. He's overcharged me for years and ignored my maintenance requests. Landing Thomas Webb's contract was a turning point. The Riverside Shopping Center generated $12,000 monthly in management fees. More importantly, it was a prestigious property that gave Chin Innovations credibility. I worked 16-hour days, personally overseeing every aspect of the property's management. When a tenant reported a plumbing issue, I had someone there within an hour. When another wanted to renew their lease with modifications, I negotiated terms that satisfied everyone. After 3 months, Thomas sent me an email. You've done more for this property in 90 days than your father's company did in 3 years. I'm referring you to 2 colleagues. Those referrals became clients. Those clients referred others. By month 6, Chin Innovations was managing 8 properties and generating $45,000 monthly in revenue. I hired 2 full-time employees and moved into a proper office. Small, but professional. Rachel became my office manager. I hired Marcus, an experienced property manager who'd retired from a major firm, and Jennifer, a young marketing specialist who understood digital strategy. My father still hadn't acknowledged my company's existence, but I knew he'd noticed. I'd heard through industry contacts that Chin Industries had lost 3 clients in recent months. The call came on a Tuesday afternoon. My father's name on my phone screen. I almost didn't answer. Daniel. His voice was tight, controlled. Dad, we need to talk. In person. Tomorrow at Chin Industries. I don't work there anymore, remember? This isn't about employment. This is about your company actively undermining our family legacy. My grip tightened on the phone. My company provides better service at competitive prices. That's not undermining. That's competition. You're poaching our clients, using inside knowledge you gain while working here. That's not competition, Daniel. That's betrayal. I haven't poached anyone. I've offered alternatives to clients who were dissatisfied with Chin Industries service. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. Don't make me ask twice. He hung up. I sat in my office, staring at the phone. The rivalry was no longer subtle or unspoken. It was open warfare, and my father had just declared his position. Jennifer knocked on my door. Everything okay, boss? Family meeting tomorrow. It's going to be ugly. Wanted to come? Take notes. Provide witness testimony. Intimidate with my excellent organizational skills. I smiled despite the tension. I'll handle it, but thanks. That night, another email from my mysterious benefactor arrived. Your father will try to intimidate you tomorrow. He'll threaten legal action, accuse you of corporate theft, and attempt to make you feel like a disloyal son. Remember this. You've done nothing wrong. You've built a legitimate business that serves clients better than his outdated model. Stand your ground. Also, I've attached a document. It's a market analysis showing Chin Industries' declining performance over the past 5 years. Your father has lost 32 clients during that time due to poor service and inflated pricing. You didn't cause his problems. He did. I opened the attachment. It was professionally prepared, detailed, and damning. Chin Industries was declining long before I started my company. My phone buzzed. A text from Emily. Dad's furious. Be careful tomorrow. He's talking to lawyers. I replied, I haven't done anything illegal. I know, but he's convinced you've stolen trade secrets or something. Just watch yourself. I stayed up late, preparing. If my father wanted confrontation, I'd give him one. But I'd do it with facts, professionalism, and the confidence of someone who knew he'd done nothing wrong. The meeting was in the same boardroom where my father had rejected me 9 months earlier. This time, his corporate lawyer sat beside him, a severe woman named Patricia Hoffman, who looked at me like I was a criminal. Daniel, sit down, my father said. Not Danny. Not son. Daniel. I sat across from them, placing my tablet on the table. Let's make this quick, Patricia began. Chin Industries is prepared to file a lawsuit against Chin Innovations for corporate espionage, theft of intellectual property, and intentional interference with business relationships. That's a serious accusation, I said calmly. Do you have evidence? You worked here for 6 years. You had access to client lists, pricing strategies, and proprietary business methods. Then you started a competing company and targeted our clients. I started a legitimate business in the same industry where I have experience. That's not illegal. As for client lists, everyone in this industry knows who the major property owners are. That's public information. My father leaned forward. You knew exactly which clients were unhappy with us. You exploited inside knowledge. I recognized poor service when I saw it. That's business awareness, not espionage. I opened my tablet. Would you like to see the market analysis showing Chin Industries has lost 32 clients in 5 years? I didn't cause that decline. Poor service did. Patricia's expression flickered. Where did you get that analysis? A business consultant provided it. Everything in it is based on public records and industry data. I slid the tablet across the table. My father didn't look at it. You're destroying what I built, he said quietly. You're tearing down the family legacy out of spite because I told you the truth about your inexperience. No, Dad, I'm building something new because you refuse to see my value. There's a difference. Your company exists purely to hurt me. My company exists because I'm good at this work and clients appreciate quality service. If that hurts Chin Industries, maybe you should improve your service instead of threatening lawsuits. Patricia cleared her throat. Mr. Chun, perhaps we should discuss this privately before proceeding. My father ignored her. I'm giving you one chance, Daniel. Shut down Chin Innovations. Return the company, and we'll forget this ever happened. Return in what capacity? Junior management? You'll start where I determine you should start. Then my answer is no. You're making a mistake. I stood up. The only mistake I made was spending 6 years trying to earn your approval instead of believing in myself. I won't make that mistake again. I walked out before either of them could respond. 2 weeks later, the lawsuit arrived. Chin Industries was suing Chin Innovations for $500,000 in damages, claiming I'd stolen trade secrets and intentionally damaged their business. The envelope sat on my desk like a bomb. Rachel found me staring at it. Boss? You okay? They're actually doing it. My father is actually suing me. What do? We fight back. Get me the best business attorney in the city. Someone who specializes in defending small companies against corporate bullies. She nodded and left. I called the one person I thought might understand. Emily, did you know about the lawsuit? I tried to talk him out of it. Danny, I swear I did. But he's convinced you're out to destroy him. I'm just trying to build my own company. I know. For what it's worth, I think you're doing great. Your company has a better reputation than Dad's right now. That won't matter if he bankrupts me with legal fees. Have you thought about settling? Maybe you could agree to stop competing in certain markets or something. That would kill my business. No, Emily. If Dad wants war, he'll get it. But he's not going to like how it ends. My mysterious benefactor reached out again that evening. I've been expecting this lawsuit. Your father is desperate. He's watching his company decline while yours rises, and he's chosen to blame you instead of fixing his own problems. I have a recommendation for legal representation. Catherine Morrison at Morrison & Associates. She's expensive but worth it. Tell her I sent you. She'll know what that means. I called Morrison & Associates the next morning. Catherine Morrison's office. A crisp voice answered. My name is Daniel Chun. I need representation for a business lawsuit. I was told to mention that I was referred by... I paused, realizing I didn't know my benefactor's name. By someone who wishes to remain anonymous, but said you'd know what that means. A long silence. Then, hold please. 2 minutes later, a woman's voice came on the line. Mr. Chun, this is Catherine Morrison. Any friend of our mutual acquaintance is a priority. Tell me about your situation. I explained everything. My father, the company, the clients, the lawsuit. She listened without interrupting. I'll take your case, she said finally. My standard retainer is $50,000. My heart sank. I don't have that kind of money available right now. I'm aware. The retainer has been paid. Focus on running your business. Let me handle your father's lawyers. The legal battle consumed the next 3 months. Depositions, document requests, interrogatories. Patricia Hoffman tried every tactic to prove I'd stolen proprietary information. Catherine demolished every argument. She showed that client lists were public information. She proved my business methods were standard industry practices, not stolen secrets. She demonstrated that Chin Industries' client losses began years before I started my company. In the meantime, Chin Innovations kept growing. We signed 4 new clients in 2 months. My team expanded to 8 employees. Monthly revenue reached $75,000. The industry noticed. A trade publication ran an article titled Chin Innovations, the new standard in property management. They interviewed several of my clients, who praised our responsiveness and modern approach. My father's company was mentioned too, but not favorably. One client quoted saying, Chin Industries felt like they were doing us a favor by taking our money. Chin Innovations acts like they're grateful for our business. The article went viral in our industry. My phone exploded with inquiries from potential clients, including two of my father's biggest accounts. Victoria Enterprises and Blackstone Commercial were Chin Industries' two largest clients, representing over 30% of their annual revenue. Both reached out to me within a week of the article's publication. I met with Victoria's CEO, Margaret Chin, no relation, at her downtown office. "Your father has managed our properties for 12 years, she said directly. "But I'll be honest, Mr. Chun, the service has declined significantly in the past 3 years. Response times are slower, costs are higher, and we feel taken for granted. What would you need to see from a new property management company? Transparency, responsiveness, and fair pricing. Can you provide that?" "I can, but I need you to understand something, Ms. Chun. If you switch to my company, my father will view it as a declaration of war. This won't be a simple business transition. I'm aware of your situation. The industry talks. But my responsibility is to my company, not to managing your family dynamics. If you can do the job better, I want to work with you." I presented my proposal. 30-day trial period, no long-term commitment required. If she wasn't satisfied, she could return to Chin Industries with no penalties. "You're that confident?" she asked. "I'm that good," I replied. She signed the contract. Landing Victoria Enterprises was the biggest moment in my company's history. It was also the moment my father completely lost control. He showed up at my office the next day, bypassing our reception area and bursting into my office. My staff stared as he slammed the door behind him. "You son of a bitch," he shouted. "You stole Victoria Enterprises. They came to me, Dad. They were unhappy with your service." "Bullshit. You manipulated them. You poisoned them against me. I provided a better alternative. That's how business works." His face was red, veins bulging in his neck. "I built that relationship for 12 years. 12 years of work, and you destroyed in one meeting." If 12 years of work could be destroyed in one meeting, maybe the relationship wasn't as strong as you thought. He stepped closer, and for a moment I thought he might actually hit me. "You wanted this from the beginning. To tear down everything I built. To prove you're better than me. I wanted your respect, Dad. That's all I ever wanted. When you wouldn't give it to me, I built something where respect had to be earned, not begged for." "You're dead to me," he said quietly. "The lawsuit is nothing now. I will destroy you. I will use every resource, every connection, every dollar I have to bury you and your pathetic company." "Then do it, because I'm not backing down." He stormed out. My staff looked shaken. Rachel appeared in my doorway. "Boss, I've never seen anyone that angry. He'll calm down eventually." "Will he, though?" That looked pretty final. I sat down heavily. "Probably not. But I can't worry about that now. We have work to do." That evening, my mysterious benefactor sent the longest email yet. "Your father's thread isn't empty. He has resources and connections that could make your life very difficult. It's time you knew who I am and why I've been helping you. My name is Richard Chun, your father's older brother and your uncle. We had a falling out 30 years ago when your father pushed me out of the company we built together. He told the family I was incompetent and stole my share through legal manipulation. I rebuilt my life, made my fortune in tech investments, and watched from a distance as your father became the man who betrayed me. When I heard he'd rejected you, I saw history repeating. I decided to intervene. You deserve better than I got. Consider this my way of balancing the scales." I read the email 3 times. "Uncle Richard, my father had a brother?" I called Emily immediately. "Did you know Dad has a brother?" "What? No. Who told you that?" Emily came to my apartment that night. I showed her Uncle Richard's email. She read it with wide eyes. "I've never heard Dad mention a brother. Ever. He probably erased him from family history after their falling out. This is insane. Your mysterious benefactor is our uncle. And apparently, Dad screwed him over just like he's trying to screw me over." Emily sat back. "So this whole time, you've had a secret ally funding your company and helping you compete against Dad." I didn't know who he was until tonight. "Danny, this changes everything. Dad's going to lose his mind when he finds out." "He doesn't have to find out. Not yet, anyway. My phone rang. Unknown number. I answered. Daniel Chin, a warm voice asked. This is Richard Chun. I thought it was time we spoke directly. My hand shook. Uncle Richard. I apologize for the secrecy. I wanted to ensure you were serious about your company before revealing myself. You've exceeded every expectation. Why help me? You don't even know me. Because I know your father. And I know what it feels like to be told you're not good enough by someone who should support you. Consider this my revenge and your inheritance combined. Richard and I met for breakfast the next morning. He was 72, silver-haired, sharp-eyed, and immediately familiar. He had my father's features, but softer, kinder. You look like your mother, he said, shaking my hand. Thank you for everything you've done. The money, the advice, the legal help. You've done the real work, Daniel. I just opened a few doors. We talked for 2 hours. He told me about building Chin Industries with my father in their 20s, about my father's gradual takeover, about the betrayal that pushed him out. Marcus was always ambitious, Richard said, but ambition became ruthlessness. He couldn't stand sharing credit or control, so he manufactured reasons to push me out, turned our parents against me, and rewrote history. I'm sorry that happened to you. Don't be. It made me who I am. I rebuilt, diversified, and became wealthier than I ever would have been in that company. But I never forgot the lesson. Family means nothing to Marcus compared to power. He said I was dead to him yesterday. Richard nodded. He'll say worse before this is over. But here's what I know about your father. He respects strength. Right now, he sees you as a threat. Eventually, he'll see you as an equal, whether he admits it or not. The lawsuit collapsed in month 5. Catherine Morrison filed a motion to dismiss, arguing Chin Industries had no evidence of actual wrongdoing. The judge agreed. He dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning it couldn't be refiled. My father had to pay my legal fees, over $90,000. The local business journal covered the story. Chin Industries loses lawsuit against CEO's son read the headline. The article detailed the entire saga. My rejection, my startup, the competition, the lawsuit. The comments section overwhelmed with support for me and criticism of my father. Imagine being so threatened by your own son's success that you sue him. Chin Industries sounds toxic. Glad there's an alternative now. Daniel Chin is living proof that the next generation can do it better. My client inquiries tripled. Blackstone Commercial, Chin Industries' other major account, switched to my company without even requesting a proposal. Within 2 weeks, I'd signed 6 new clients. Chin Innovation's monthly revenue hit $150,000. We moved into a larger office. My staff grew to 15 employees. I was officially running a successful, sustainable business, and I'd done it in less than 18 months. My father called 2 weeks after losing the lawsuit. Daniel. His voice was different. Tired. Dad, I need to talk to you. In person, not at the office. Somewhere neutral. We met at a park near the house where I grew up. He looked older than I remembered, grayer, more worn. We sat on a bench overlooking a pond. I was wrong, he said finally. About what? About you, about your abilities, about everything. I didn't respond. When you started your company, I saw it as rebellion, as you trying to hurt me. I couldn't see that you were just trying to prove yourself. I spent 6 years trying to prove myself to you at Chin Industries. I know, and I refuse to see it because admitting you were ready meant admitting I was getting older, that it was time to step back. He watched ducks gliding across the pond. Chin Industries is failing, Daniel. We've lost 40% of our clients in the past year. Revenue is down. Staff morale is terrible. The board wants me to retire. I'm sorry to hear that. Are you? This is what you wanted, isn't it? To destroy what I built. No, Dad. I wanted to build something of my own. Your company's problems aren't my responsibility. He turned to face me. I want to propose something. A merger. Chin Industries and Chin Innovations. Together, we could dominate this market. You want to merge our companies. Equal partnership. We combine resources, clients, expertise. You bring innovation and energy. I bring experience and established relationships. Together, we're unstoppable. I stood up. Dad, you sued me 5 months ago. You said I was dead to you. You tried to destroy my company. And now you want to be partners? I was angry. I made mistakes. But this makes business sense. For you, maybe Chin Innovations is thriving. Why would I tie my success to your declining company? Because I'm your father. Because family should mean something. Family means everything to me, Dad. That's why it hurt so much when you rejected me. When you called me inexperienced and dismissed everything I'd worked for. I'm trying to make that right. By absorbing my company into yours, that's not making it right. That's you trying to save yourself using my success. His face hardened. So that's it? You refuse to help your own father? I refuse to sacrifice what I built to fix your mistakes. There's a difference. I started walking away. He called after me. You're making a mistake, Daniel. I've made plenty of mistakes, Dad. This isn't one of them. I drove to Uncle Richard's house after the meeting. He lived in a beautiful home in the hills, modest but elegant. He poured us whiskey and listened to my account of the conversation. Your father never changes, he said when I finished. He sees your success and immediately wants to control it. He called it a merger, equal partnership. It would never be equal. Marcus doesn't do equal. Within 6 months, he'd find ways to marginalize you, just like he did to me. I know, but turning him down felt like closing a door permanently. Maybe that door needs to be closed. Not all family relationships are worth preserving at any cost. I sipped the whiskey. What would you do? I'd do exactly what you did. Build your own legacy. Let him deal with the consequences of his choices. And when he's finally ready to truly respect you, not just use you, then maybe you revisit the relationship. Do you regret leaving Chin Industries? Every day for the first 5 years. Then never again after that. The freedom to build something truly mine was worth every moment of pain. He raised his glass. To building your own empire, nephew. We clinked glasses as the sun set over the city. 6 months later, Chen Innovations reached 200 employees and $12 million in annual revenue. We expanded into development, launched a sustainability initiative, and became the fastest-growing property management company in the region. Chen Industries continued declining. My father stepped down as CEO, and the board brought in outside management. Emily told me he'd moved to a smaller office and rarely came to work anymore. I felt no satisfaction in his fall, just sadness for what could have been. Uncle Richard became my mentor and friend. We had dinner every week, talking business, family, and life. He taught me that success meant nothing without integrity, that revenge was hollow, but justice was sweet. I never reconciled with my father. He never apologized for the lawsuit or admitted he'd been wrong to reject me. We existed in the same city, the same industry, never speaking. But I built something anyway. Something mine. Something that proved I was never too inexperienced to lead. I was just stuck trying to lead someone else's vision instead of creating my own. The real lesson wasn't about beating my father. It was about trusting myself enough to walk away from his approval and build something worth approving. That's what I tell young entrepreneurs now when they ask for advice. Don't wait for permission. Don't seek validation from people who refuse to see your value. Build it anyway. Prove it anyway. Succeed anyway. Because the only approval you really need is your own.